Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Technique.com is a website for Linux users and for those who want to learn Linux. The series in this video is for Linux beginners and this video is going to tutor you from scratch like a baby. There's actually a playlist for this series on this YouTube channel, all right? So when you come to Technique, click on the Technique YouTube channel and you come to the playlist here, which is Linux tutorial for beginners. All right, so you're going to see the videos, the chapters from the top to the bottom. Okay, and the benefit of following the playlist is that you get the direct link of a particular chapter to the website in the description section below. So, for example, for this chapter, when you click here, it takes you directly to the website. Okay, so for those who love to read documentation, you can also read the documentation as well. Or from here, from this Welcome to Studying the Linux course for beginners, you can click on a particular chapter, all right? So it takes you to the documentation. So you either have the advantage of reading the documentation or you're going to watch the video, all right? So another benefit of following the playlist is that when you want to do the class activities, it's going to take you directly to that chapter so you can do the class activities for that chapter. All right. So when you follow the playlist here and you click on a particular chapter, it's going to take you directly to the website. So that's another advantage of following the playlist. All right. So if you also want to write the exam, when you follow the playlist, it's going to take you directly to the exam practice questions and answers. All right. So please subscribe to our newsletter on the website and also subscribe to this channel so you can always get updated. Don't forget to turn on the notification button as well. And please like and comment. It propels us to do more. And after the completion of this series, for those who want to further, there is also the RHC 8 series. All right. You can either get that here on the website. Let me just scroll up. This is the RHC 8 series, and it's going to take you directly to the video, or you just come to the playlist here and click on the RHC 8 course. All right, and we also have the quality RHC 8 exam practice questions and answers. And if you want to know more about RHC 8 or you want to know more about everything that I've said, just drop your questions in the comment section below. Okay, and there are other good courses that are coming up. So don't just watch or download. Please subscribe and drop your comment. It helps us and encourages us to do more. So thank you. And without wasting much of our time, let's get to the reason why we are here. So why are we here? For those who love just one long video, we have decided to put this playlist in a long video. And if you love short videos like I do, because it makes me assign days to the playlist or chapters I want to study, like it makes me plan myself very well, then you can follow the playlist right there as I've shown you. So, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Victor, and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today, I'll be showing you how to prepare a lab for the Learn Linux from Scratch series. So we're going to be installing a Virtualbox Hypervisor, and the reason why I want to install a Virtualbox is because I already have VMware on my system and I have a lot of stuff in it and I don't want to uninstall it. So I would have shown you VMware installation, but VirtualBox is okay too, and if you don't want to use VirtualBox or VMware, you can enable Hyper-V if you're using a Windows system. So all of these hypervisors are good hypervisors. Alright, so I have already downloaded VirtualBox. You can download VirtualBox as well. So I'm just going to click on the installation file to start the installation. I'm going to click on next. I'm going to check, okay, this setting seems to be okay, so I'm just going to click on next. Then please choose from the options below, create start menu. Alright, this settings also seems to be okay, so I'm going to click on next. One end network interfaces, installing the Oracle. blah 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 blah. All right, I'm going to proceed with the installation. I'm just going to click on next, on yes I mean, and I'm going to click on install, and I'm going to click on yes, and my installation is started. Okay, it's installing. All right, installation is complete. So I'm just going to click on finish, and I can see my hypervisor installed. Yeah, actually I uninstalled this Virtualbox and installed it again, so that's why I can still see the VMs I have installed already. But in your case, if it's a new installation, you wouldn't see all of this. You can just check the website if you're a little bit confused. I mean, we all have the steps here on the website, and on the website too, you can check if you just want to get some few knowledge on what virtualization a provider is, and just if you just want to feel like reading some stuff, you can just come to the website. I'm going to be dropping the link to the website in the description section or the comment section. So, thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel, and bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor, and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today, we're going to continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and I'll be showing you how to create virtual machine and install Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8 server. Yes, so we're going to be using a Red Hat 8 for our class. Or if you want to use other Linux distributions, you can use it. The difference between them is just, or among them is configuration file and path differences, location differences, and um, you know package manager differences. But then Linux is Linux. If you know one, knowing others wouldn't be a problem. And in another series, we're going to be looking at learning Ubuntu from scratch or learning SUSE Linux from scratch. But then when you learn this one, I can tell you others wouldn't be a problem. All right, so I have my system and I'm just going to create a new virtual machine. So I'm going to click on new. Then I'm going to give my VM a name. Sorry. So that's technique. Well, you can give your VM any name you wish to give. I'm going to leave it at Linux, and then I'm going to leave it at Red Hat 64-bit. I'm going to click on next. I'm going to click on create. I'm going to click on next. I'm going to click on next. So this is my hard disk. So I can give my hard disk let's say 15 or 20 gig, depending on the space you have in your system. So I'm just going to give my hard disk 20 gig, and I'm going to click on create. All right, let me look at this file location and size. Okay, that's fine. So I'm just going to click on create. So I have my VM created here. So I'm just going to start my VM. So I clicked on start, so it's starting. So it's telling me that I have an empty startup disk. So I need to go and pick my ISO. You need to download an ISO file, that's the Red Hat installation media. before you can do this. So I've already downloaded it. So I'm going to go to the location where it is. I'm going to pick it. This is Real 8.1, and I'm going to click on Open. So I'm going to click on Start. All right, you can see my installation console being displayed. So I'm just going to make sure that I have it highlighted on the first one, which is Install Red Hat Enterprise Linux 8.1. I'm going to tap Enter on my keyboard. So I'm just going to click on, make sure that I put it um, on English. Then I'll click Continue. Well, depending on your language, you can choose your language. So I'm going to click on Continue. So I'm going to click on, okay, I'm going to click on time and date depending on your location. If you're in America, you can leave it in America. If you're in New York, you can leave it there. You can just click on it and check your location. So I am in Lagos. I think this is Lagos. So I'm going to leave it at Lagos. Click on done, and software selection. Yeah, this is my installation source. I'm going to leave it as it is because it's going to pick it from the default. So I'm going to click on software selection. If I want a server with GUI, I'm going to leave it at this selection. If I don't want a GUI, I'm going to leave it at minimal install. But I want the server with GUI, so I'll just leave it at server with GUI. You can check what all these things means. If you want to install virtualization packages, you can as well, check here. But we don't need it for now. When we get to that module, I'll show you how to do that. So you just choose server with GUI and you click on done. So you do your installation destination. Yeah, so we chose 15 gig for this installation, so it's detected 15 gig. We can do automatic storage configuration, or we do custom storage configuration, or I don't want to delve into that right now. So if you are just starting with Linux, just click on automatic, and that's because you should know about file system before you begin to do a custom storage configuration, which I have not um, explained to you or talked about. So just leave it at automatic for now and click on done. So you come to KDump. Yeah, KDump is automatically enabled, so you leave it at that. Check your network and host name. You can put on your network card, and you can give your host name any name you want to give. You can just put technid1. All right, then I'll click on done. So you can check your system purpose. If you want to use it as a server, you click on server. If you want to use it as a workstation, click on workstation, and just like that. This is for subscription. So yeah, I know you don't know anything about, if you don't know anything about subscription for now, so just leave it, because we have three types of subscription in Red Hat. But just leave this part for now. Just concentrate on what we're doing right now. So leave it at not specified. Then your usage, if you want to make it a production server, a development server, or a disaster recovery server, but just leave it at not specified for now. I'm going to explain all of these as we go on in this series. Then click on done. So you click on begin installation. So your installation starts. You need to um, set a password for a root user. Just click on it and set a password. Confirm the password and click on done. So you can create a user as well. You can just create a user. I'm going to create a user technique. I'm going to create a password for that user. I'm going to confirm the password, and I'm going to click on done. You see, I'm clicking on done twice. Wow. All right, so my installation has started. All right, now the installation is complete. Yeah, it's complete. So I'm just going to reboot the system. I mean the VM, please, not your system. So I'm going to reboot the VM. Okay, then I'm going to. Oh, so I was supposed to eject the installation media. So okay, let me just close this and power up the machine. So I just open it here. I'm just going to look for a way to remove the installation media. So I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to right click and click on settings, and I'll make sure that I remove the media. So on storage, I'm going to click on this. Then I'm going to click on this icon, and I'm going to click on remove disk from virtual drive. Then I'll click OK. Then I'll try to start the VM. So let's see what happens. See if it's going to take us back to the installation media. Okay, so it's not taking us back. So I have the operating system installed and it's trying to load the OS. So I'm just going to click on this. I'm going to accept the license agreement and click on done. Then I'm going to click on finish configuration. So you can see that the installation is complete. So I can log in. I'm going to click on not listed. I can also log in as the Technic user, but I want to log in as a root user. I type in root, then click on next. Then I'm going to give the password I used while I was setting it up. And I'm going to click on sign in. So I'm going to click on activities. Oh, where's my mouse? All right. So I'm going to click on activities here. Then I'll scroll down to terminal. Ah, okay, I think it's still trying to get itself because it's somehow slow to get my terminal. All right, this is popped out, so I'm just going to click on next. I'm going to click on next. You might want to turn this off. Click on next. Click on skip. Then click on start using Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Okay, so this is my terminal that I was trying to open so I can start using my operating system now. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel and bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today we'll continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series and I'll be talking about how to connect to a Linux server via SSH. Briefly, SSH means secure shell. It allows a remote connection to a server securely. So, if you want to perform some system activities like a copy and paste, um, it is it is done easily when you're connected to a server via SSH. You can also work on the console, but then some activities you might want to perform are easier when you use SSH. So to connect to a server via SSH, you would need an SSH application like Putty, like Bitwise. But in this tutorial, we're going to be looking at Putty. So we're going to download Putty application and we're going to connect to our server via Putty. So you just go to your browser and okay, just if you don't have Putty, just type Putty in your browser and so you can just click on download Putty. Just click here. If you have a 64-bit system, click on 64-bit and you see that it's downloaded. You can open it. Open it right done. So you can just go ahead and install the application. I already have it installed on my system, so I'm not going to be installing it. But if you don't have it, you can just click on install and it's going to do the installation for you. So when you're done with the installation, you need to go get the IP address of your server. That's your system you installed. And, that's what I'm just going to do. All right. So to get your IP address, just use the command IP space A. You can see the IP address of my system here, which is 10.0.2.15. Open the PuTTY application that has been installed. So I'm just going to open this. All right. So I'm just going to put in my IP address 20.2.15. I'm going to click enter. Uh-oh. Network error, connection timed out. So what could be the reason for that? Uh, oh, okay. So let's check the network settings when we installed the Virtualbox. All right. So it is attached to NAT. So we're going to change this to a bridge adapter. Make sure this is enabled as well. So I'm going to teach you all of this when we get to Hypervisor or when we get to virtual machines creation. In this series, I'm going to show you how all of this operates. So now that we've changed it, let me check my IP address again. So you can see that my IP has changed to 192.168.43.223. So I'm just going to try and reconnect again. I'm going to do a new session. Yeah. 3.223, 192.168. My button has an issue. 43.223. Oh, so you see that I can log in now. So I'm just going to put in my username and my password. So you see that I'm in and I have connected to the server via SSH terminal. So I can just minimize this. I don't need my console anymore. So whatever thing I want to do, I can always do it here. I can always, check my IP address here. I can always run my commands here. Now that I have my SSH. So this is how you connect to a Linux server via SSH. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel and bye for now. I'm one of the authors of Technique.com. Following our Learn Linux from Scratch series, today I'll be talking about the Linux file system structure. And when I say file system in this context, I do not mean the ext4 or the XFX file system that you may be familiar with, just like when you have the NTFS or the GPT file system on Windows. So that is not what I'm talking about in this context. What I'm talking about is the file system hierarchy standard. When you install the Linux operating system, you will see directories, standard directories, and these directories have been organized to store a specific type of file. And these specific files are stored and will be stored under one main directory, which is the slash, that is the root file system. So when you look at the root file system, you will see various directories, various file systems. So this is what we're going to be talking about. So we're going to start from the bin directory. Bin means binary. So this directory contains the applications that are necessary for the operating system to function. For example, we have the applications like cat, the ls, the copy, which is used to copy files in the Linux operating system. If you check the bin directory, sorry, you would see lots of applications in here. For example, we can look for the cat application. We can also look for the copy application. Even this ls that we're currently using, this ls utility, we can also find the ls utility in bin directory. So this directory contains the applications or the programs that are necessary for the system to function, and they are executable files. So they are binaries. You cannot really see the content of what it is. For example, if I try to list the content of ls, you see that I have my system, dangling, and you see a lot of jargons in front of my screen. So the applications here are executable files. And one thing you should also know about bin directory is that applications installed in Linux, I mean other applications, your external applications are not usually installed in this directory. We've mentioned the fact that it is meant for applications that would make the system function. And also, this directory contains programs that are necessary for maintenance tasks, especially when you boot the system into single user mode. And in single user mode, some functions, especially network, are meant to be disabled because of security reasons. Hence why other applications will not be installed in this directory so as not to cause security breaches. So this directory is meant for applications that would make the system function. So let's go back to the root directory, which is the major directory where other directories spawn from. So let's look at the boot. Let's look at the boot directory. Oh, okay, before we look at the boot directory, I would like to talk about the sbin directory. So the sbin means system binary. This directory is analogous to the /bin directory, and the difference is that it stores the binaries, the applications or programs that are intended to be used for system maintenance and administrative tasks by system administrators or root or super users only. You know, for the bin directory, we have programs like the ls, cart, and the copy, which we've seen, and these programs can be used by any other users that are residing on a Linux operating system. But they are system applications, they are system programs that cannot be used by other users. These programs can only be used by the root users, which is the system administrators, or if you've been given a privilege as a system administrator, then you can use these applications. These are system applications. So that is just the difference between the sbin and the bin directory. And when you look at the sbin directory, the programs we're talking about here are the like LVM programs, the VGS, the VG remove, you know, a lot of them. Let's look for LVM, for example. LVM, you can see the LVM program here. You can also look for the LV remove program. So these programs are meant for system administrators. Just like I mentioned when explaining bin, basically other applications installed in Linux are not usually installed in this directory because the directory contains programs that are used for maintenance tasks, especially when you boot into the single user mode. So the bin directory and the sbin directory are meant are meant for the operating system. These directories contains the programs that would make the operating system function. So now let's look at the next directory, which is the boot directory. So the boot directory stores all the necessary files that is needed to boot the operating system. You have the bootloaders, the system kernels in this directory. If you look at the boot directory, you see files, you see the bootloader, you see the kernel. This is the kernel. You see the kernel. These files are files that are necessary to boot the operating system. So let's look at the next directory. Um, okay, we have the dev directory. The dev directory stores all the device related files for the system. Examples of the devices are the block devices, the disk, the CD-ROM partitions. Yeah, let's look at the dev directory. So we can see the blocks, the CD-ROM. We can see the partitions, the SDA, SDA1, SDA2, and the rest. So that's what this directory is meant for. So let's look at the next directory in line. That's the etc directory. So the etc directory contains the system related data and configuration files that are required by programs. So every system related data and configuration files required by programs are stored in this directory. For example, we have the password file, we have the yum, we have the log rotate, and the likes. The configuration files stored here affect all users. So let me look for, yeah, okay, you can see the yum, you can see the samba, I'm looking for the password. Okay, you can see the password file as well. But you should also know that configuration files that are not system related may not be necessarily stored here as well. You can be stored in the user's home directory depending on the program, depending on the application. So that works too. So the next directory in line is oh sorry. The next directory in line is the home directory. This directory contains all the home directories of users. It is the directory where users store personal files like photos, music, documents, desktop, videos, etc. And every user can only access their home directory only except the required permission is given to access other users' home directory. So let's look at the home directory. Okay, so apparently I only have one user on this system, which is Oluwatomisin. So this is the as a root user, I can check the content of the home of the other users. So this is the home directory of the Oluwatomisin user. So let's check the next directory in line. Uh, uh, the lib directory. So this directory contains libraries of data for the compilers installed on the system, such as the C language routine. So in other words, these files are helpful and used by an application or a utility or a process to perform various functions for their proper execution. If you look at the library, file, you can see the files that are helpful and used by applications to perform various functions for their proper execution. So the next directory in line is lib64. So the lib64 is also similar to the lib directory. The difference between these two directories is that the lib64 stores 64-bit library files. That's just the difference. So they are the same. They are the same. They both store library files. The next directory is the media directory. I don't like my screen. Do not want too much of information. So the media directory creates a subdirectory or a mount point for a removable media when it is inserted into the system. It automatically mounts the media depending on the variant, because it's not all variant that will do this. So if you insert a CD or a USB into the system, the slash media directory would automatically mount the media. And this directory is also similar to the mount directory. So let's just talk about the mount directory. The mount directory can be used as a directory where users can temporarily mount file systems. So the difference is, for the media, devices are automatically mounted, and for the mount files, for the mount directory, this is done manually. So moving forward, let's look at the OPT directory. OPT means optional. So this directory is reserved or stores optional packages. That is, packages that are not part of the default application. Most times, third-party applications are always installed in this directory, and applications that don't follow the Unix file hierarchy standard also dumps its file in this directory. So let me see if I have anything in this directory. So I don't have any application installed in this directory. So the next directory is the Proc Directory. The Proc Directory, yeah, the Proc Directory can also be called a virtual file system, because it contains a real-time information about the processes running on the system. It presents this information as a file or a directory. We said earlier that everything in Linux is a file. So if you check the proc directory, you see the real-time information. Everything that is happening on the system is presented as directories and files. Yes, for example, you can get the current CPU information, the current memory information and partition here. So if I look at the trying to get okay, look at the mem info file. It's going to give you the memory information, the current memory information. So it's presenting everything that is currently happening on the system as a file. There are other, let's look at other information we can get. Look at the partitions file. So you can see the partitions presently that are current on the system. So we can also look at the current CPU information, which is to this. So you can see the current CPU information on the system. So the next directory to check out is the root directory. So this is the user's home directory, the root user's home directory. Every file and directory starts from this directory. Though this directory is root home directory, but it doesn't live in the slash home directory. If you go to home directory, you would not see the root home directory in this directory. So this directory is also provided for other users to store data in, provided the necessary permission is given to them. So let's look at the SBin directory. Oh, okay, so I we already talked about the SBin directory. So let's go to the Srv directory. Srv means service. So the services that are provided by the system, for example, the Apache web server, FTP, data, they are all stored in this directory. And the data file for a particular service can easily be located in this directory. So we'll go to the next directory, which is the USR directory. USR means Unix System Resource, and it stores the OS files which are not involved in the boot process. So applications and files that are used by users and not the system are also stored in this directory. That is, it contains all the user's system resources like users' binaries, libraries, header files, etc. For example, many and more utilities that are not in bin are available in user bin. So if I go to USR directory, you can see sbin. This is sbin. This is bin. We said that sbin and bin are they are applications that are necessary for the system to function. So the ones that are not necessary for the system to function are stored in USR, and the remaining ones are stored in USR slash bin and then USR slash sbin. So these files are considered not essential to the system. And the USR also contains shared files. That is, the slash USR is shareable. This directory also contains more of libraries and data files used by various commands, like the USR slash TMP. It stores more temporary files. If you check, let's check the TMP. If we have, okay, so these are temporary files, and this directory is a read-only directory. I mean, USR directory is a read-only directory. So which takes us to the var directory. Yes, so for var directory, this is a variable directory and it stores variable data, that is files and directories that the system writes to during operations and grow in size. And that's why when you see this is where you see your logs, files that can grow in size, and it is the opposite of the USR directory. We said, or rather, I said that the USR directory is a read only directory, but for the var directory, it is a read write directory. So logs are written in slash var or var directory. So all operations that are supposed to write in USR are written in var directory, and that's why you can have your log files. I mean, your log files in this directory. Oh, sorry. So these are the log files. These are log files in this in the var directory. So files can be written in this directory as opposed to USR directory where you cannot write files. So now you know that these directories that we've talked about have been organized to store a specific type of file, and these directories are the whole system, and you should know how they function. Actually, if you're a newbie, you might not really get to understand it fully, but as you begin or as you continue to use the operating system, you get used to it, and you can always come back to watch the video and try to follow up and understand what these file systems are. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today we'll continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and I'm going to be talking about the basic Linux commands and how to create directories in Linux. Yeah, but before we look at the basic Linux commands, I would like to explain some concepts in Linux. And I'm going to start with the types of users we have in Linux. So we have basically two types of users. We have the root user and we have other users. So who is the root user? A root user is a super user. So a root user is just like an autocrat president, or I just say a dictator on the system. He has access to all kinds of files on the system. A root user can do anything on the system. A root user can delete. In fact, a root user virtually owns the system because he can delete critical files. He can do whatsoever he wants to do on the system. So when you're logged in as a root user, you're going to see the username root hat, then the name of the server. It's going to be the root at the name of the server, and you're also going to see the hash sign, which means that you're logged in as a root user. The second type of users we have are the other users. So the other users are not powerful as the root user. They are ordinary users. These users, they don't have the kind of high privileges a root user has on the system. Just as some things that the vice president cannot do and the president can do. So the other users, they're just like the vice president too. They cannot do some of the things that the president can do, except you give them the privileges and the access to do them. So other users are limited, and for me to know that I'm logged in as other users, or for you to know a user that is logged in with another username, it comes with a name that is apart from the root username. For instance, this is technique, which is the other username at then the name of the server. All right, you're seeing root here because I switched to a root user. You don't have to concern yourself about that. Okay, so the root is gone. So if you can always switch from one user to another user. For example, I'm logged in as TechNeed. If I want to switch to another user, say I want to switch to the user Victor. If I want to do a full switch, I'm going to do SU, then hyphen. I'm going to write the username, which is Victor, and then I'm going to put in the password of the username, and then you see that I've switched to the user Victor, and that's why you can see Victor at the name of the server. So in Linux, you can always switch from one user to the other. If I also want to switch to the root user, again, I'm going to do su hyphen, or I can also put the root username, and then I'm going to enter the password. So you see that I've been able to switch my user to root, and now I can do anything I want to do as a root user. I have the all privileged. I have every access, every privileges on the system. So this is how you switch from one user to the other. So at this point, we're going to start with the basic Linux commands by learning how to confirm or know who you are on a Linux machine. I've explained that, but there is another command that you can use to know who you are or who you are exactly on the machine. And the command is who am I. So it's saying that you are a root user on the system. So if I also switch user to Victor, for example, and then I use the command as well, who am I? So it's telling you that you are Victor on the system. Having understood all this concept, in the next lesson, we're going to start with the um, basic command on how to create directories on the system, and we're going to understand what a directory is on Linux system. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor, and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today, we'll continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and we're going to be talking about how to create directories on Linux. In our previous class, we looked at some basic Linux commands, and we looked at the types of users in Linux. We also looked at how to use the who am I command in Linux. So in today's lesson, we're going to be looking at the make directory command. So before we look at the make directory command, what is actually a directory? A directory is like a folder on a Windows machine. In a folder, you can have files in a folder. You can also have another folder in a folder. So that is what directory is. A directory is just like a folder. And to create directories in Linux, you use the command mkdir. So mkdir means make directory. So for example, if I want to make the HR department directory, all I need to do is to use the command make directory followed by the name of the directory. So the name of the directory I want to make is HR department, and I'm going to press my enter key. You see, I've been able to make the directory. Another basic command you should know in Linux is ls. The ls will list the content in a directory. Right now, I'm also in a directory. Um, I talked about file system now in the previous lesson. Um, if you want to know the current directory that you are in, you can use the command pwd. It tells you that you are currently in slash root. So I'm currently in slash root directory. Of course, I'm logged in as root, so I'll be in slash root directory. That is the home directory for root user. So for me to see the directory that I've just created, I'm going to use the ls command. So this is the command ls. You can see that I now have the directory that I've just created, the HR department directory. To create another directory, I'm still going to use the same mkdir command. So in Linux, of course, you might not know this as a newbie. You can always use your up arrow key and your down arrow key to go back to the command you've once run. So you don't need to always type. And another important key on your keyboards is the tab key. We're going to look at how to use that as we go on. So for me to make another directory, you see, I can just use my up arrow key. Then I go to the command I've run before. Then I'm going to screen this off and enter the new name of the directory that I want to make. And this is technique. And when I use the ls command, I can see the directory I have made. So I have two directories, Here I have the HR department directory, and I also have the Technit directory. So briefly, I'm just going to tell you how Linux command work. Well, Linux command is basically separated into three parts. We have the command, we have the option, and we have the argument. For instance, I can say wash. Wash is a command. Wash. And I can also say wash properly. So wash properly. The properly that I've just mentioned is the option. I can say wash command, then properly option. For example, an option with the ls command, ls, if I want to use an option, most times when you want to use an option in Linux, you use the dash command, which is the hyphen command. So ls, I'm saying ls wash, then wash properly, option hell. There are a lot of options in Linux. We're going to look at that as we go on, but I just want you to get this concept. Wash, you understand? Then wash properly, you get. Then I use the enter key. You can see that I have more information that is being displayed, unlike when I just use the ls command. When I use the ls-l, which is the option, I have more information being displayed. So the argument, of course, is the name is the name of the directory of the file. So for example, I can say wash properly the new shirt. Wash properly the new shirt. So wash properly, which is the option, command option argument slash root. That is the name of the directory you want to list its content. So you see that I can see the content of this directory. If I also want to list the content in TMP directory, we've talked about TMP directory when we're looking at the Linux file system structure. I can just say wash list, that is list all the content with this -l option in TMP directory. You can see all the content being listed in TMP directory. So I'm just going to clear my screen. I'm going to use the command clear, clear, to clear the screen. An easier way to see the option of a command is to use the hyphen help in front of the command. So, for example, if I want to look for the options that is associated with ls command, I can use ls-help and then the enter key. You would see different options. You see options like -a, hyphen uppercase A, hyphen B, hyphen uppercase B, C, D, hyphen L. Let's see what hyphen L is. I've been using hyphen L. So hyphen L is use a long listing format. So and that is what we've done. We've been able to use the long listing format on the directory. I hope you understand this. So we've also used the make directory command if I want to see the options that are associated with the make directory command. I'm going to use mkdir -help, and then I can see the options. I can see -m, -p, -v, verbose, and -z. So this is how you can see the options in Linux. All right. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone. My name is Victor, and I'm one of the authors of Technique.com. Today, we're going to continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and we're going to continue with the basic Linux commands in Linux. In our previous lessons, we've looked at how to create directories. We've also talked about the types of users. We've talked about how to use some basic Linux commands like the make directory command. We've talked about the ls command, the pwd command, In this lesson, we're going to look at other basic Linux commands. So we're going to start with the rmdir directory, that is a remove directory. The commands this command actually removes the directory. So if, for instance, I want to remove the technit directory, I'm going to use rmdir command followed by the name of the directory, which is technit, and I have removed the directory. So if I use my ls command to list the directories, you can see that the technit directory is gone. Well, remove directory, rmdir command removes empty directories. If you have files or other directories in a directory, you do not use the rmdir command. The command you use is rm command. And then sometimes you might want to use -r, that is to remove the things that are in directory recursively. Another basic Linux command is the pwd, which means print working directory or present working directory. So it tells you the current directory you are in. So presently I'm in /root. So for example, if I'm in tmp and I use the command pwd, it tells me that I'm in /tmp. So another important basic command in Linux is the cd command. The cd command is used to navigate from one directory to the other, which I have been doing. You've seen me using cd. You use this command a lot as a Linux user. Without this command, then I'm telling you, you cannot do anything. So, for example, if I want to go to my boot or to /boot directory, I'm just going to use cd. That says change directory to /boot, and then I'm already in /boot. If I want to change directory to /usr, I'm going to use cd /usr, and then I'm already in /usr. And there's another important command which is cd dot dot. So what this means is, sorry, two dots. So what this means is that you should navigate a directory one step backward. All right, let's do something. If I change directory to USR, for example, and then USR bin. So if I do pwd, I'm already in /usr/bin, and if I use the cd double command, if I press enter and I do pwd, you can see that I have gone one step backward. I'm now in /usr. So you can see that the cd dot dot would take you one step backward. All right. So in the next class, we're going to look at the basic Linux commands in this module with examples. We we set the scenario, we create a scenario with all of these commands so you can understand it explicitly, and then we'll look at how we can use them. So thank you for watching, and please don't forget subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone. My name is Victor, and I am one of the authors of Technit.com. Today, we'll continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and we're going to be looking at the basic Linux commands. We've looked at how to create directories in our previous lessons. We've looked at the types of users in Linux. We've treated a lot in our previous lessons, and this is the last section of this module. In this module, we're going to look at how to use the basic Linux commands with examples. All right, so in our previous lesson, we looked at how to create directories, and we created the HR department directory. So if I want to remove this directory, I'm going to use the command rmdir. Since it is an empty directory, I mentioned about the tab key on your keyboard. So I said I'm going to tell you about the tab key. So if you don't want to start typing, you can make use of your tab key. So now, for example, that I want to remove the HR department directory, if I type a command and I type the initial of the word, for example, HR department is HR, then I can press the tab key. You see that the whole word has been displayed. As we go on, you get to know how to use the tab key. All right, so in this example, this is what we want to do. We're going to create a directory called IT department, and under IT department, we're going to create the network team directory. Under same IT department, we're going to create the storage team directory, and under the network team directory, we're going to create the Cisco switch team directory. I'm also going to create the Dell switch team directory. And under the IT department directory, we are still going to create the IT directors directory. And under the storage team directory, we're going to create the EMC storage team directory and the Nexus storage team directory. I'm going to be dropping the link to this website in the description section below, so you can just click on it and scroll down. If you need it, you can follow through. So let's create the IT department directory. That's mkdir. All right, so we've been able to create the IT department directory. So I'm going to change directory to IT department. All right. So in the IT department directory, I'm going to create two directories as well, which are the network team directory and the storage team directory. So I'm going to do mkdir network team. All right. Oh, sorry. mkdir. All right. Then I'm also going to do for storage team. Yeah, there are a lot of ways I can navigate and create this once and for all, but we're going to start bit by bit so you can understand. All right, so in my IT department directory now, we have two directories here, which are the network team and the storage team directories. So in the storage team directory, um, we need to I need to change directory and create the EMC storage team directory. So I'm going to change directory to storage team. You see, what's my present working directory? So I'm going to create the EMC storage directory in the storage team directory, please. I'm doing that in the storage team directory. So EMC storage team. All right. So I'm also going to create, I was supposed to create two directories from the chart. So I'm also going to create the Nexus storage team directory. All right, Nexus. So I can do my PWD. So I'm presently in root IT department storage team. So from the chart, I need to go back to the network team directory to create the Cisco switch team and Dell switch team directory. So I need to go back to the network team directory. Do you remember that I said that you can use the cd command to change directory? And I can also go back one step. Yes, to the network. Let's see if going back one step would take me to IT department, right? So I can then change directory to the network team directory from here. All right. Then I can create the two directories. So the Cisco switch. Sorry. The Cisco switch team, right? And also the Dell switch team. Yeah, I can do this. I can do this. So you can just learn. I can do this, right? So I have two of these directories now in the network team directory. So from the chat as well, from the IT directors department. Oh, sorry, from the IT, yeah, IT directors department. No, sorry, I'm trying to look at the chat from here. Okay, all right, I'm going to create the IT directors directory under IT department directory. So for me to go to the IT department directory, I can just do cd slash IT. All right, okay. Where did I create my IT department? Here, all right. Cd IT department. I can actually go from that angle too. All right. So under IT department, I'm supposed to create the IT directors directory. IT directors. All right. So you can navigate whichever way you want to navigate. I just want you to get the concept. So let's do a little bit of navigation. All right. Okay, so I can do cd IT department and I can do ls. So I can move from network box, right? Network team slash Cisco switch team, right? You see, I can do this as well. I'm actually looking at the chart to navigate. So you can also do that as well. You can navigate. That's why you might need to open the website. You understand? You can just navigate to wherever you want to go to. I can do cd IT department to the storage team, then to the EMC storage team. You see? So that's how you can use cd to change directory. You can either move at once and then you're already in the EMC storage team, that is slash root slash IT department slash storage team slash EMC storage team. And you can also move, you can go one by one and say cd slash IT department, sorry, IT department, right? And then you also say cd um, storage team, right? And then you also say cd EMC storage team, right? So this is how you can navigate. Okay. So we have come to the end of this module. You can just look at the class activities, um, class activity 2.0, and you just do it before you move to the next module. All right. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone. My name is Victor. and I'm one of the authors of Technique.com. Today, we're going to continue our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and we're going to talk about how to create files in Linux. In our previous lessons, we've looked at how to create directories and also looked at some basic Linux commands in Linux. So we looked at this chart. We drew a chart and we created directories from the chart. So just as we did in the last lesson, we're going to also use this chart to create files. So this rectangle will represent directories, while this oval that looks like a circle will represent files. So we're going to be creating IT department directory, and other IT department directory, we're going to be creating network team directory, which we've done. Then we're going to create end managers file under the network team directory. And then under Cisco switch team directory, we're going to create the full staff file and the temp file. And under the Dell switch team directory, we're going to create the SAN team file. And then that's how we're going to do it in this lesson. While that is going on, we're also going to understand some file related commands like cat greater than, touch, cat, harem, and we're also going to understand how we can use all of this. Okay, so in the network team directory, we're going to create the end managers file and view the content, right? So let's go to the network team directory. Okay, so we're already in this directory. So we're to create a file called end managers. So to create a file, you can use the cat greater than command, right? You can use the search command, and you can also use a text editor. We're going to talk about text editor as we go on. All right. So the cat greater than command is used to create a non-empty file. Okay, while this touch command is used to create an empty file. So for me to create this file, um, I'm going to use this command because I don't want it to be empty, right? Then I'm going to use n managers, right? So it's giving me a prompt saying that what do I want to put in the file, right? I can put anything I want to put in the file. For example, I can say Jesus is Lord, right? Is good. Okay. Then I can press my enter key to go to the next line, and I can write, of course, he is, right? Then I can press my enter to go to the next line. Then when I'm through creating the file, I can use my Control C command, right? Which I've just done. And I can list the content in this directory so I can see the end managers file. If I want to do a long listing, I can do ls-l, right? And then for me to see the content in this file, just as we've said in the previous lesson, that you can use the cat command, right, to view the content of a file. So I can say n managers. Oh, sorry, we didn't talk about that in the previous lesson. Yeah, I remember. So to view the content of a file, just use the cat command, right? So I'm going to use cat end managers, and I'm going to press my enter key. So you can see that the content of this file can be viewed. So from the chat, the next thing I'm going to do is to create the full staff file in the Cisco switch team directory, right? So I'm checking the chat here. I'm going to post the link to this website in the description section below, so you can as well look at the chat if you want to. So for me to create the full staff file, I need to change the directory to the Cisco switch team. Okay, so I can do cd to go back to the home directory, and I can do this cd it, right, network and Cisco switch team. Okay, so I'm to create the full staff file. So I'm going to create a non-empty file. Okay, full stuff. Then I can put in, for example, um, Jesus is Lord, right? And He is truly Lord. Okay. All right. So I can use my Control C to abort, and then I can view the content um, in this file by using the cat command. Right. So I've been able to create the full stack file. You should know about the cat greater than command. This command is used to append um, files or content into an existing file. So for example, if I need to add other stuff in the full stack file, I'm just going to use this command as against the full stack file. So I can add whatever I want to add in this file. So I can just put yes, is Lord, right? And I'm going to use my Control C command to abort. Then by the time I view the file, okay, I can't find the file. Okay, so that means I need to um, do this again. It's Lord. Then I need to press my enter key before I abort, before I use Control C to abort, and then view the file so I can see the new contents that I've just added. All right. So in the IT department, from the chat as well, I need to create an empty file called cloud team. So I can use my CD to go back to the root directory. I'm going to do CD IT department, right? So I'm going to create an empty file. So this touch command is used to create an empty file, right? Then I can do touch cloud team. Okay. So I've been able to create the empty file. You can see the cloud theme in there. And if I view this file, of course, I don't have anything in this file because it is an empty file. The cd command rather takes you to the home directory, irrespective of the location where you are, right? When I use the cd command, then I go back to my home directory. If I don't want to be using cd every now and then, so for example, if I'm to create let's say a file in the Dell switch team, for example, so I can just do I can do touch. Let's say I want to create a non-empty file. I mean an empty file. So I can do touch IT IT department, right? Network team, right? Then Dell switch team, right? And then let me call the name of the file test file. Okay. You see that I've been able to create it. So I don't need to start saying I want to go to IT department, then to network team, then to Dell switch team, and then go and create my file, right? If I list the content here, you're going to see the test file. So you should be able to know how to navigate on a Linux system. Okay, so to remove a file, you use the command rm, right? Then test yes, and I've been able to remove the file. So sometimes you might want to use the command rm-f. F means first. Yeah, let's check. We talked about how you can use the -up command in the previous lesson, right? To check the options in Linux. So F means first. So sometimes you might want to use the rm-f command to remove a file. Okay. So this is a class activity for you. You can just check the website to partake in this activity. So thank you for watching and please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I am one of the authors of technique.com. Today we're going to continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series and we're going to talk about how to move and copy files in Linux. In our previous lessons, we've looked at how to create directories and create files. We've looked at a lot of basic Linux commands. So in this lesson also, just as we did in the last lesson, we drew a chart to create files and directories. So in this lesson, we're going to use the same chart to move and copy files and directory from one location to the other. Okay, so the cp command is used to copy files from one location to the other. The cp -r command is used to copy files or directories recursively, while the mv command is used to move files from one location to the other. The mv command is just like a cut and paste command in the Windows environment. Okay, so from the chart, we're going to copy the nmanagers file to the EMC storage team directory. The nmanagers file is in network team directory, right, from the chart. So you can check the chart and the website. I'm going to be dropping the link to the website in the description section below. All right. So I'm going to go to IT department, right? Then to network team, and then I have my nmanagers file here, right? So I'm going to um copy it to storage team directory, so to IT department, and then to storage team, right? Then to EMC storage team. We are copying it to EMC storage team, right? And I'm going to press my enter key. Okay. So if I list the content that is in this location now, right? ls-l. So I can see the nmanagers file. It's been copied to EMC storage team. Of course, I'm not in the directory where the file is, and that is why I have to copy the whole path. We already talked about this in the previous lesson, and I've told you that you should actually know how to navigate around the Linux system. So the next thing I want to do is to copy the Nexus storage team directory to the Dell switch team directory. And the Nexus storage team directory is in um, IT department storage team. So I'm going to do copy IT department, right? Storage team. Then I have the Nexus storage team here. So this is a directory that I want to copy to another directory, which is Dell switch team directory in the location um, IT department, right? Network team, and Dell switch. Okay, so it's a directory, and that's why we are seeing omitting directory, IT department, blah blah blah, right? So let's see if the directory has actually been copied, and if not, we're going to use the -r, which is a recursive command. So let's check. All right. Um, okay. So you can see that it wasn't copied. So you should know that for you to copy a directory, you need to use the recursive option that is copy recursively. All right, and you then copy it. So we've just done that. Let's check again. So we can see the Nexus storage team now. It's been copied to the location where we want it to be copied to, okay, which is the Dell switch team directory. Okay, so to move files, you just use the mv command instead of the cp command, right? So let me just create a file here. Let me say touch test 6, right? So if I want to move it to um, let's say the tmp directory, right? That's move test 6 to the tmp directory, right? So I can't find test 6 here anymore. So I need to go to the tmp directory, or I can just list it from this place, right? So I can then see my text test 6 in the TMP directory. So you just use the mv command to move files from one location to the other. All right, so this is a class activity for you. So you can just come to the website and partake in this activity. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel and bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I am one of the authors of technique.com. Today, we're going to continue with the Learn Linux from Scratch series and we're going to be looking at how to use VI and VIM in Linux. Okay, so what is VI and VIM? Um, they are text editors. Text editors can be used for writing, editing, undoing, redoing, replacing, and performing all of text activities. There are couples of text editors in Linux. We have VI, we have VIM, we have Nano, Emac, Gedit, Pcode, VS Code, Atom, brackets, and there are lots of them. But in today's lesson, we're going to look at how to use the VI and VIM text editor. If you want to know more about VI and VIM and the differences between them, you can check this website. As usual, I'm going to be dropping the link to this website in the description section below. All right. So we're going to look at how to use these text editors with examples. There are three modes when using VIM. We can use VIM in the visual mode. We can use VIM in the insert mode. We can use VIM in the command mode. I'm going to create a file called Amazing Love using VI or VIM. So I'm going to do this, Amazing Love, right? So I can use VI or VIM, but I choose to use VI. And I'm going to press my enter key. Okay, so for me to insert or put in some content in this file, I need to press my I key, which signifies insert. Okay, so that means I am using VI or VIM in insert mode, right? So I'm just going to copy what I have in the website and paste it here. Okay, so this is the content that I have in this amazing love file. For me to save this content and quit this file, I need to press the escape key. You see that as soon as I press the escape key, you cannot find the insert here anymore. Okay, then I need to press column, right? So you can see the column right at the bottom of the file, followed by W, which means save, then Q, which means quit, and exclamation mark, which means exit. Right? So I've been able to save, quit, and exit the file. So for me to check the contents in the file, I can use the cat command, right? You can see that I already have this content in the file. So I've been able to use um, the the VI and VIM in the insert mode, right? To use the VI or the VIM in the command mode, let's do some activities. So let me open the file using VI, or let me use VIM this time around. Amazing love. Okay. To move my cursor to the end of the file, I'm going to use the letter uppercase G, right? So you can see that my cursor has been moved to the end of the file, so I can, begin to write whatever thing I want to write instead of me scrolling from the top to the bottom, especially when I have a lot in the file. To move to the beginning of the file, I'll use the command GG. I'll tap GG, but lowercase this time around 2 times. All right. So you see that I've been able to move to the beginning of the file. To move the cursor to the end of the line, I'm going to use the dollar key. Right. You see that I've been able to move the cursor to the end of the line, and to move the cursor back to the beginning of the line, I'm going to use 0. Right? So you've seen I've been able to move the cursor to the beginning of the line. So anytime I want to edit, I can just use this short keys to move my cursor to wherever I want to move it to. All right. In the next lesson, we're going to look at how to use the VI or VIM editor in visual mode. Okay, so thank you for watching and please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I'm one of the authors of Techniques.com. Today we're going to continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series and we're going to look at how to use VI and VIM in Linux. In the previous lesson we've looked at what VI and VIM is. We've looked at some things about VI and VIM. We've looked at how to use VI and VIM in insert mode and in command mode. So in today's lesson, we're going to look at how to use VI and VIM in visual mode. All right, so let's do some activities. Okay, so in the amazing love file that we've created in the previous lesson, right? I'm going to open this file. So I'm copy the first line of this file. I'm going to copy it and paste it, right? So to do that in the visual mode, normally you don't have to do that in the visual mode, but I just want to show you how to use the visual mode. All right. So if you want to copy and paste, if you're not the visual mode type, just do this. Just copy, then press your I key, insert key, then go to whichever line you want to paste it to, and then you just paste whatever thing you want to paste. But to do this in the visual mode, so what you need to do is to, for example, this line, you just come to the beginning of the line, okay, either the beginning or the end, then press your V key, which means you want it to be in visual mode, but don't let it be in insert mode. So you need to press the escape key, right, to remove from the insert mode, and press the V key. You can see that the visual mode has been activated. Okay, so select this line by using the arrow key. So I'm using the right arrow key. Okay, and then when you get to the end of the file, you're going to press the enter key. All right, then you press the key YY, which means copy. You're pressing Y two times. Okay, and you're going to press the key P, which means paste. Okay, so you've been able to copy and paste in the visual mode. All right, so I'm just going to exit this. The Q means quit, while the exclamation mark means exit. So I just want to quit and exit without saving the file, right? So you can see that to effectively use VI or VIM, you would need to combine the three modes together. Where no one cares if you're using whichever mode. The main thing is you should know how to edit or create a file with a text editor and do that effectively. Okay, now so let's search and replace a word in using VIM. So for example, if I open this file, right, and I want to look for the word you, okay, I'm just going to press the / key and I'm going to type the command you. So you can see that I don't have anything like you in this file. Yes, Linux is case sensitive. Okay, so let's do it again. I know that I have you that starts with caps letter, right? So I'm going to press enter. So you can see all the U words in this file. To go to the next line, I'm going to press the key N. You see that the cursor has jumped to the next line, the one in green. That's one. That's one. Okay. So to move to the next line, I'm going to press the key N. All right. So it keeps moving to the next available U because that's what we've searched for. All right, so next, next, next. And if I want to search backwards as well, I'm going to use the question mark key. I'm going to do U. Okay, so you see that it's jumped to the next line backwards. I can also press my N key. It jumps to the next line backwards. Then N key, it jumps to the next line backwards. So that's how you can search a word from the end of a file to the beginning of a file. Sometimes in a file, you may want to replace a word. So for example, to replace the word you to E, you need to enter the column. Just look beneath the file here. So you enter the column and then followed by percentage, followed by S, followed by forward slash. So you want to replace the word you, so followed by the word you want to replace with he, right? Followed by G, and you hit the enter key. So you just need to watch what will happen. All right. So you can see that the you has been replaced with he. So this is how you can find and replace a word using the VI and VIM text editor. So to delete, okay. For example, if I want to delete the first line or this last line, I can use the command dd. You see that I'm in a command mode right now, so I can just press dd. I've deleted that line. To delete another line, I can press dd. So I've deleted this line as well. D actually means delete, all right, and you can combine it with a word. For example, now if I want to delete the 5 words in the first line, okay, so I'm going to press 5, right? D, which means delete, W. You can see that I've been able to clear the 5 words in this file. You can also undo and redo using the VI or VIM. Okay, so to undo an action, you just press the command U. You can see that I've been able to undo the action that I've done. And to redo an action, you press the command Ctrl R. Okay, so this is how you can undo and redo an action. This is the class activity for module 3, so you can just come to the website to do this. I'm going to be dropping the link to the website in the description section below. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel and bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today we're going to continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and we're going to be talking about globbing in Linux. Globbing is a technique a Linux shell uses to match a search pattern by using special characters called wildcards. So wildcards are used to match a search pattern. So for example, if I have 7 files that ends with .log, I can decide to delete all 7 files at the same time. And if I also need to copy all 7 files at the same time to another location, I can do that with the use of wildcards. So wildcards are important. They make you work in a smarter and intelligent way. And examples of wildcards or the wildcards we have in Linux, we have asterisk, we have question mark, we have square bracket, we have exclamation, we have curly brackets, we have some other wildcards, but these are the important ones we'll be talking about in this subject matter. And we're going to start with asterisk. So asterisk is used to match all character. For example, if I go to this module directory and I list the content in this directory, you can see that I have a lot of content here. So if I want to list all files or directories that start with Intel, I can do that by using the asterisk wildcard. Don't forget that the asterisk wildcard is used to match all character. So for me to match all characters that start with Intel, I'm going to use the asterisk wildcard after Intel. So this means that I want to list all the content in this directory that starts with Intel. So you can see all the content. So we have directories and files. So it's looking a little bit scattered. So to list all the directories that starts with Intel, I can just use the D option. So we can see now that we can see the Intel Hido and this other one, Intel Ralph Perf. So these are all the directories that starts with Intel in this slash sys slash module directory. So I've been able to match all characters that start with Intel. To list all directories that ends with Intel, so you're just going to put the asterisk at the beginning of the file. So this means that you want to list all the directories that ends with Intel. So you can see the directories that ends with Intel. To list or filter all the directories that contain Intel in them, you just use the command, um, this same command, then you put Intel in the middle of the asterisk wildcards. Then this will give you all the directories that contain Intel in them. To copy the same directories that contain Intel to slash TMP, for example, you just use the copy command, copy to slash TMP. Oh, okay, it's a directory, so you use the option R command. You go to TMP, you can see these files in TMP. So for example, again, to delete the same files, you just use um, the delete command, which is remove -rf Intel from TMP. And when you do ls, you see that you cannot find the same directories anymore. So the wildcard can be used against any command in Linux to match a search pattern, and we've seen that using the asterisk wildcard. So in the next lesson, we'll look at other wildcards. All right. Thank you for watching, and please you can click the like button and also subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone. My name is Victor, and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today, we'll continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series. We're going to be looking at using wildcard in Linux. In our previous class, we talked about what globing is, and we also talked about using the asterisk wildcard. So in today's class, we're going to look at using the question mark wildcard. The question mark wildcard is used to match a single or one character, and that character can be anything. In the sys module directory, for example, to list all the directories that have three characters, use the command ls option -ld. So you use three question marks, that's one, two, three, because the question mark is used to match a single character. So you can see all the directories that have just three characters. To list all the directories that have three characters before underscore, you use the same command, but this time around, one for one character, two for second character, three for third character, followed by underscore and star. Sorry, and star. In our previous class, we talked about the asterisk, which is a star, wildcard. And in this case, we've been able to combine two wildcards together, which is the question mark and the asterisk. So you can see all the directories that have three characters before underscore. To list all the directories that have at least three characters and ends with core, so you use the command at least three characters. That will be one, two, three, and ends with core, asterisk, and core. Normally, when you use this command, means that you want core to, you're looking for a file or directory that ends with core. So this time around, we're combining with the asterisk and we're saying, hey, I want all directories that have at least three characters and ends with core. So you can see that the least character you would have here is 3 and ends with core. So the same way, if you want to list all directories that have at least 6 characters, you increase the question mark to 6, 4, 5, 6, and that ends with core. So you can see that the least character is 6. Look at the book and underscore. For example, D is 1, E is 2, the B is 3, the U is 4, the G is 5, and underscore is 6. So the least character before core would be 6. So this is how you use the question mark wildcard. Thank you for watching and please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I'm one of the authors of Technit.com. Today we're going to continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series and we're going to be talking about using wildcard in Linux. In our previous classes, we've talked about the asterisk wildcard and question mark wildcard. We've talked about what globing and wildcard is. So in today's class, we're going to be looking at using the square bracket wildcard and the exclamation wildcard. The square bracket wildcard is used to match a range of character, including numbers. So the range of characters can be A, B, C, D, E, or you use A to E. This is in lowercase. For the uppercase, you can also have A, B, C, D, E, or you just use A to E. And for numbers, for example, you can have 5, 6, 7, 8, or you just use 5 to 8. And for the mixture of both uppercase and lowercase, you can have A to Z in lowercase and then A to Z in uppercase. And for the mixture of uppercase and lowercase and numbers, you can have A to Z in lowercase and A to Z in uppercase and 0 to 9. Don't forget the square bracket is used to match a range of character, including numbers. So we're going to be looking at this with examples. So in sys module slash sys slash module directory, if I want to list all the directories that ends with the numbers 4 and 6, all I have to do is use my normal ls-ld command and use the square bracket because I want to list all the directories that ends with 4. I include 4, comma 6. Then I close my bracket. Don't forget that I said all. And you know that when we're talking about the asterisk wildcard, asterisk matches all characters. So this command will list all the directories that ends with numbers 4 and 6. If I say numbers 4 to 6, it's going to be 4 to 6, or I say 4, 5, and 6. But now I just want to list all the directories that ends with number 4 and 6. So it's going to be numbers 4 and 6. And you can see the directories here that ends with numbers 4, numbers 4. You see here numbers 4 and number 6. To list all the directories that have numbers only, all I have to do is I'm going to use numbers 0 to 9, and I said all that have numbers, so I'm going to make sure that I use my asterisk in both ways, and I make sure that 0 to 9 is in the middle of two asterisks. We also talked about this when we discussed using the asterisk wildcard. So this command will give me all the directories that contains or that have numbers in them. To list all directories that start with U, V, W, or X, my command will go this way: U, V, W, or X. So I can do U, V, W, or X, and I can also do U to X. So I want to make sure that I do it in a very smart way. So I think U to X is better. Then I'm going to remove one asterisk. So meaning that list all directories that start with U, V, W, or X. So you can see that all the directories must start with U, V, W, or X. So this is how you use the square bracket wildcard. Moving to the exclamation mark wildcard. This is used to exempt a match or filter in the square bracket wildcard. So to list all the directories that don't contain A to X from the start, both uppercase and lowercase. You know, I explained earlier that A to X can be used for lowercase and A to X can be used for uppercase. So what we want to do now is to list all the directories that don't contain A to X. We want to exempt A to X, both uppercase and lowercase, from the start of a directory. So from the start of a directory, I'm going to add my asterisk here, and then I'm going to use my exclamation mark, meaning that every directories, both uppercase and lowercase, I want to see every directories that don't contain A to X from the start. And I use my enter key. So you can see all directories that don't contain A to X from the start, both uppercase and lowercase, in this sys module directory. So this is how you use the exclamation mark wildcard. Remember, it is used to exempt a match or a filter in a directory. So if you say, I don't want to see this numbers, I don't want to see this character in a directory, then you use the exclamation wildcard. So this is how you use the both the square bracket and the exclamation wildcard. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor, and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today, we're going to continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and we're going to be looking at using wildcard in Linux. We've talked about what globing is and what wildcard is in our previous classes. We've talked about how to use the asterisk wildcard, the question mark wildcard, the square bracket wildcard, the exclamation mark wildcard, and this is the last section of globing. So we're going to be talking of how to use the curly bracket wildcard. The curly bracket wildcard is used to combine more than one global pattern in a match or in a filter with a comma. We're going to look at this using examples. So since the curly bracket is used to combine more than one globing pattern, if I want to list all the directories, let's go to the sysmodule directory. Okay, so if I want to list all the directories that ends with IPv4 and IPv6, all I have to do is to use my normal list command, and I'm going to introduce the curly bracket, which means that I want to combine a globing pattern in a match or in a filter. So I'm going to introduce my asterisk wildcard as well. So which means I want to list all the directories that ends with IPv4. I'm going to put IPv4 here, then followed by a comma. I'm still going to introduce my asterisk and put IP version 6, and then I'm going to close the brackets. So, I'm not supposed to put a space between IPv4 and IPv6. So I have all the directories that ends with IPv4 and IPv6. So this is how you use the curly bracket. Just know that anytime you want to combine more than one globing pattern in a filter or a search with a comma, then you can use the curly bracket wildcard. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel, and I see you in the next class. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today we'll continue our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and we're going to be looking at basic file management tools in Linux. File management in Linux is very important because in Linux everything is a file, and the ability to able to manage files is a very important skill for an administrator. Well, we've looked at some of the topics, some of the modules. So far, we've looked at how to create files, how to delete files and directories. Yeah, those are still file management, but there are still some tools that can be used to manage files effectively. Basic file management involves using some of important utilities, these important tools, to perform basic activities on files. And in this subject matter, we'll look at these basic tools that we can use to manage files. So we're going to start with the more and less utilities in Linux. We're going to see how we can use these utilities to manage files. The more utility, just as the cat utility, can be used to view the content of the file. However, the more utility is used to view the content of the file one page per time. When you use the more or the less utility, you can view a file one at a time with ease. So let's try and view the content of varlog messages. If I use the cat command to view the content of varlog messages, you can see the content of this file. If I need to check more of this file, I would need to scroll down. Okay, let me run the command again now that my screen is white. So if I need to check more of the content of this file, I would need to um, start scrolling. But if I want to check the page one per time, I can use the more command instead of the cat command. I just use more on this file. You can see 3% here. So that means if I want to keep checking, I'll just click on my space bar. Then it keeps scrolling. I keep checking the page one at a time. I keep pressing my space bar. It keeps scrolling. And the 19% keeps increasing till it gets to 100%. So if I have a very large file, using more to view a large file is easier and better. The same applies to the less utility. It is very similar to the more utility. I can use the less utility to view a very large file. Well, the less utility is more robust than the more utility. It allows you to navigate both forward and backward through a file. Well, they basically do the same thing. Yeah. So this is how you use the more and less utility in Linux. In the next class, we'll look at how to use other utilities to manage files. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. You can also click the like button. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today we will continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series and we're going to be looking at basic file management tools in Linux. In our previous class, we looked at what file management tools are. We looked at the more and the less utilities in Linux. Um, Today, we're going to be looking at the head and tail tools in Linux to manage files. The head command by default is used to display the first 10 lines of a file, while the tail command by default is used to display the last 10 lines of a file. However, this can be tweaked to display the exact number of lines of a file that you want to view. So we're going to be looking at this with some of examples. So we're going to be looking at this with examples. So if, for example, you want to display the first 10 lines of the var messages file, you can just use the head command as against var messages. Okay, let me broaden my screen and let me rerun the command again. So you can see that this command by default would display the first 10 lines of the var messages file. You don't need to put hyphen N10 because by default it's just going to display 10 lines. If you want it to display 5 lines, then you can use the option -N5 and use your enter key. This would display 5 lines of the file. If you want it to be 3 lines, this command would display the first 3 lines of the file. Don't forget, the head command would display the first lines of the file, while the tail command would display the last line of the file. So for example, if I want to display the 10 last lines of the file, var messages, I'm going to use the tail command to do that. I do not need to put -N10 because by default, it's just going to display the last 10 lines of the file. And if I want to display just 5 lines, the last 5 lines of the file, then I can add the -N option, C5, and then I'm going to use the tail command. So you see that the last 5 lines of the file will be displayed. There are so many occasions where you would or you might want to use the head and the tail command. most especially when you're looking for logs and you have a lot of files. You can just use the head or the tail command to do that. So this is how you use the head and tail command in Linux. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. In the next class, we'll look at another tool that can be used to manage files. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today, we'll continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and we're going to be looking at basic file management tools in Linux. In our last classes, we've looked at what file management in Linux is. We've looked at the basic file management, some of the basic file management tools. We've looked at the more and less utilities and how to use it with examples. We've looked at the head and tail utilities and how to use them with examples as well. So in today's class, we're going to be looking at how to use the grep utility in Linux. The grep command is used to filter or match a search pattern. Now, for the purpose of this tutorial, let's create a test file in /tmp directory. So I'm just going to create a file called test, and I'm going to add some content in the file. So I'm just going to copy from the website and I'm going to paste it here. As usual, I'm going to be dropping the link to the website in the description section below. So if you want to see the website alongside with the video, it's fine. But I know the video is enough for you to understand what we're doing. So I'm just going to save this file. And you'll notice that in this file, let me open the file. You'll notice that Apple has appeared 3 times. The first Apple has appeared with a lowercase with its initial. The second one, the initial is uppercase, and the third one, the initial is lowercase. So to search for Apple in this file, you can use the grep command to do that. Don't forget, I said the grep command is used to filter or match a search pattern. So I'm just going to use the command grep apple /tmp/test. So what did you notice? You noticed that Apple appeared just twice, and with the one that is starting with the lowercase. As you know, Linux is case sensitive. I've said this several times in our previous classes. To ignore the cases, you would need to use the -i option when using the grep command. So you just use the -i option, saying you don't care if it is in uppercase or lowercase. I just want to see the letters Apple. So you can see that your result will be in uppercase and lowercase. So this is how you can use grep to search or match a pattern. Another example is if you want to search for files that contains IPv4 in the sys module directory. I know we've been using this directory a lot for examples. So I can use this command ls/sys/module. Then I'm going to pipe it, /module. Yes, I'm going to pipe it to grep IPv4. We've also talked about the pipe utility in one of our classes. You can refer to the class if you don't know what the pipe command is used for. So I'm saying, hey, list the content in /sys/module, but I want to see the content that contains IPv4 in them. So I use my enter key. You can see all the files in that directory that's got IPv4. You can also use the grep command to search for processes. For example, if I'm looking for the SSHD process, this command is used to search for processes. Then I'm going to use the pipe command. Then I'll use the grep command as well. Then I'm going to search for SSHD. So you can see the processes, or I mean the process, the SSHD process and their process IDs. But you might not really know about process if you've been following me in the Learn Linux from Scratch series. But don't worry, we're going to get to that module and then you would understand all of this command. But what you should know is that the grep utility is used to match, is used to filter or match a search pattern. And anytime you know that you're looking for a search pattern, you can use the pipe command and the grep command together. So this is how you use the grep utility in Linux. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now and see you in the next class. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I am one of the authors of technique.com. We're going to continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and today we're going to be looking at basic file management tools on Linux. In our previous classes, we've looked at what file management in Linux is, and we've looked at some basic tools like the more and less utilities in Linux and how to use them with examples. We've looked at the head and tail filters in Linux and how to use them with example. We've looked at the grep utility as well and how to use it with examples. So in today's class, we're going to be looking at how to search or find files and directories in Linux. Looking for files or directories in Linux requires using some tools to do that. So we're going to look at some tools that we can use to search for files in Linux. And we're going to start with the find utility. The find utility is a very powerful utility that can search through the whole entire file system of a Linux machine. So we're going to use the find utility with some examples and see how it works. So to look for the file technique on this machine, so say you don't know where the file is, you don't know the directory where the file is, but you just need to look for the file called technique on this machine or on the system. The find utility can go through the whole entire file system and look for the file technique. So to do that, you use the command find. You specify slash, that is, check through the entire file system, followed by hyphen name, which signifies the name of the file you want to look for. Then you put it in bracket, then you type the name of the file. So you see that the system goes through the entire file system and looks for the file called technique on the system. Apparently, there are lots of files called technique on the system. Here we can see the files in the Proc Directory. We can see the files in media/test4 directory, TMP test1 directory. You know, we have a lot of technique file in this on the system rather. Actually, this is a technique channel and a technique website. So let's say you know the location of the directory, but you do not know where the file is. So let's say you know that the file is in /tmp directory, but there are lots of other directories in /tmp, and you're looking for the technate file. All you need to do is to use the same command, find, followed by /tmp, which is the directory where you're looking for the file, then followed by the hyphen name, that is the name of the file. Then you put it in the bracket, technate. Then you can see that the search has gone through /tmp directory to look for the technate files in that directory. And if you're presently in that directory, say for example you're in tmp directory, to look for the file name technique, then you just need to specify the command find followed by name and then the name of the file. You can see the files in that directory. Okay, let's say you don't know if the file is in uppercase or lowercase, but then you just need to look for that file name technate. You want to see it, you want to see the file name both in uppercase and lowercase, then what you need to do is to use the command find. You can search through the whole entire system. Then you use the command hi followed by name and followed by the name of the file you want to look for and use your enter key. Then it looks for the file, both the ones that are in uppercase and the ones that are in lowercase. You can see the last file here. This one is in uppercase. This other one, tmp test3 /technate, is also in uppercase. Files can also be found by specifying the type of the file. So for example, to find directories only in /tmp directory, use the command find followed by /tmp followed by the type of the file, which is tip, then followed by d. So you're saying that I want the type of the file to be a directory, and that's why you're specifying D. So you're saying that find the directories only in /tmp directory. So that is why you're using hyphen type, specifying that you want to see the directories only in /tmp. So I use my enter key. So you can see all the directories only in /tmp. To find by type only, by file type only, sorry, use the F option. So you're saying that I want to see only the files in /tmp directory, and you use your enter key and you see only the files in /tmp directory. You can also find by symbolic link only, and you use the type, use the -L option and say, okay, I want to find by symbolic links only, and then you see all the files with symbolic link only. I'm going to be teaching you symbolic link, and that is add links and soft links in Linux. So don't worry about it. So the find utility is not the only utility that you can use to search for files in Linux. There are other utilities as well. We have the where is utility. The where is utility can be used to search a file in Linux. Where is only searches for binary files, source files, and manual pages, but it is not as robust as the find utility. So if I want to use the where is command to find the SSHD binary and manual pages, for example, I'm just going to use where is and followed by SSHD, and then I can see the binaries and the manual pages for SSHD. Another utility that you can use to find files or to search for files in Linux is the which utility. The which utility only searches for binary or executable files. It is not as robust as the find utility as well. So for example, if I want to look for the binary or executable file for SSH, I'm going to use the command which SSH. And another utility that we can use to search for files in Linux is the locate utility. The locate utility works with a database. Instead of locate to search the whole entire system, it searches through the database, and as such, it is faster than the find utility. We can see how the find utility will look for the whole entire system to look for a file. But in this case, locate would not do that. Locate has its own database, and which is mlocate by default. So to use the locate command, just use the command locate and the name of the file you want to locate, technique, and okay. So I mentioned that locate works with database. So it is advisable that you always update the database before you look for before you use the locate command. So I need to update the database with the command update db, because by default the database is updated once a day. So anytime you want to use the locate command, it is advisable you update the DB. Now I'm going to locate the file technique. You can see my files technique will locate. Well, I'm going to give you a pattern hint. When you're using all these utilities to look for files on a Linux system, all these utilities, they all have their own searching mechanism. But anytime you try to look for files with where is, which, or locate, and you cannot find the exact file you're looking for, I would say from experience, just use the find utility. The find utility is one of the best utility to use to search for files or directories on a Linux system. It is very robust and it will search through the entire file system. And to learn more about these utilities, you can check their manual pages. So, thank you for watching. This is how you can find files on a Linux system. So, I'll see you in the next class. Please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi, everyone. My name is Victor, and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today, we're going to continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and we're going to be looking at piping and Io redirection in Linux. So we're going to start with Io redirection first before we look at what piping is. So what is IO? IO simply means input and output. And what is redirection? Redirection simply means pointing or redirecting. So that in all means you can point or redirect the input or output of a file. There are three streams of IO redirection in Linux. We have the standard output, we have the standard input, and we have the standard error. Here, this is standard output, this is standard input, and it is stdin in short form, and this is standard error in stderr in short form. So the output and input of a command can be redirected in Linux for various reasons. I remember when I was executing a project, I had to redirect the output of various commands to another location just because I wanted to compare the file in the location I redirected into after I have finished what I was doing. In that project, I remember that I was upgrading several Red Hat Enterprise Linux 6 servers to RHEL 7. So we're going to start with standard output. So standard output requires using the greater sign to redirect the output of a command. And we're going to see how we can do this with examples. The greater than sign is used to redirect the output of a command. So for example, I can view the content in the fstab file using the cat command. But if I don't want to view this command and I just want to redirect it to a file, I'm going to use the greater than character. So I'll just do cat etc slash fs tab. Then I'm going to redirect the output of this command to a different location, say slash tmp slash test 5. So I can check the content in test 5. So you can see that the output of the command I was supposed to have is already in test 5. I have redirected it to test 5. So this is a standard output redirection. If I also want to list the content in slash boot, for example, this is the content in slash boot, but I can also choose to redirect the output of ls to the output of ls slash boot to tmp slash test 5 as well. But this time around, I'm going to use the greater than sign twice, because if I use the greater than sign once, it's going to overwrite the content I already have in slash tmp slash test 5 file. So I have to use the greater than sign twice so that it will not overwrite the file. Then I can say to slash tmp slash test 5. So if I check the command in tmp test 5, so you can see the output of ls slash boot already in test 5, and you can see that the content are not overwritten. So let's talk about standard input. Standard input means the input of a file can as well be redirected from a file. So if I have the content in a file, that content in that file can be read and be redirected to the shell. And the lesser than sign is used to redirect the input of a file. So for example, if I want to use the word count command, say I want to count the number of words in dialog messages and I want it to be displayed to the shell, I can use the standard input to do that. And I say slash var slash log slash messages. So this is how you use the standard input command. Again, if I want to print the new line count, I can use the option -L to do that. And then I can see the new line count. The third stream of Io redirection is the standard error. There are times you run a command on the shell, you would see some errors with the output that is displayed, and you might not like that. So you can redirect an error to another different location. So basically, the standard error is used to redirect the output of an error to a different location. And the character for that is 2 greater than sign. So let's do an example. So for example, if I run this command to see the sizes of for the whole entire system, I can run this command. Okay, so let me broaden my screen. So you can see the errors here. Sometimes you might run a command and you see a lot of errors and you might not be able to really understand the output of the command you run. So if you don't want to see all of these errors and you want to redirect the error to a different location, you can use the standard error. And sometimes you might also want to redirect the error to a different location for further analysis. So in this case, to use the standard error, you use the command du-sch, then after the command, you use the character for standard error, which is 2 greater than sign, and to the file you want to redirect it to, I can redirect it to tmp slash test 6. So you can see that the errors are not displayed anymore. And if you want to further view the errors for analysis, you can just go to the file you redirected it to and see the error in the file. So this is how you use a standard error in Linux. Also, yeah, don't forget that if you don't want to overwrite the content in test6 file, you use the two greater than sign. Then you make sure that the greater than sign is used twice. So this is how you use the standard input, standard output, and standard error commands in Linux. So in the next class, we'll look at how we're going to use pipe in Linux. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I am one of the authors of technit.com. Today, we'll continue our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and we're going to be looking at piping in Linux. In our previous tutorial, we've looked at what Io redirection is. So in this last section of this module, we're going to be looking at what piping is. And when you talk about piping in Linux, piping is a way of sending the output of a command as the input of another command. So say for example, I have a pipe and I have a tap. So if water is running from the tap into the pipe, so piping means that when you run a first command, the result of that command will be the input of another command. So just as water is running through this pipe, the water will not rush into the bucket for your final fetch, but the result of the water running would be the input of another pipe. So all I'm saying in essence is that the result of a command, which is the output of a command, will become the input of another command before you have the final result. So you can use pipe as many times as possible. The operator for the pipe is this. So we're going to look at some examples so that you understand it more. If I run the command ls-l/sys/module, this is what I'm going to have. So if I run the command again, ls-l/sys/module, the output of the command that we just saw can become the input of another command, which is more. So that means that if I run this command, it is going to display it as more would display a command. We've talked about how to use more in one of the previous tutorials. So if I press my enter key, you can see the way more displays a command or an output. Then I can use my space bar to keep scrolling till I get to the end of the file. You can see that pipe has taken the output of this command, that's this ls-l command. So with the output sign, with the pipe sign, this is the pipe sign. This is the pipe sign. So it has taken the output of this command with the pipe sign as the input of this more command. And let's look at another example. If I use the command sort -help, you can see that as a matter of fact, the file is scattered. Like I need to display this file in a well organized way. So I can also pipe it to more. See the way more has been able to display the file, then I can begin to use my spacebar to scroll to the end of the file. Okay, another example is this command we ran before. If I want to pipe it to the head command, we've talked about add command to in our previous tutorial, and I can say add minus 10. That means I want this command to show me the first 10 lines of the sys module directory. Of course, I said that by default, the head would show the first 10 lines. So I can say 5. So you can see that this command has shown me the first 5 directories in slash sys slash module directory. I can also use the pipe command as much as possible. For example, I can also pipe this to tail and say tail minus 5. So I can use the pipe command as many times as possible. And also redirections and pipes can also be combined. So for example, if I use the command ls-l um, slash sys slash module, and I can pipe it to head and say minus 5. And I can also use the redirection sign and say I want it to be in tmp slash test 7. So if I check the tmp test 7 file, we can see our result here. We've talked about redirection too in our previous class. So if you don't know anything about error redirection or input or output redirection, you can check the tutorial as well. So this is how you use pipe in Linux. And to be able to effectively use pipe, especially for scripting without errors, so what you can do is to run the commands one after the other on the shell first. If the commands run successfully, then you can begin to introduce pipe. So this is how you use the pipe in Linux. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. See you in the next class, and bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor, and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. We will continue our Learn Linux from Scratch series. So today I'll be talking about archiving and compressing files and directories in Linux. There are many utilities that you can use to archive and compress files and directories in the Linux operating system. But in this tutorial and in this first section of archiving and compressing files, we'll be looking at using the tar utility to archive and compress files. Yes, archiving is different from compression of files. When you say archive, it means you're doing a backup of a file and a directory into a location. So it's different from compressing a file. Compressing is when you reduce the size of a file. So there are two different things. You can archive a file without compressing a file, and you can archive and compress a file, whichever way. But you just need to know that if you want to compress a file, of course, you would also need to archive a file. So, for compressing a file, archiving too will be involved. You cannot compress a file without archiving a file. So, it is two things. One, you either archive a file. Two, you either archive and compress a file. So, when using tar to archive and compress a file, you need to know about some important flags of tar, which are C. C means create, V means verbose, F means file, R means recursive, T means view, X means extract, Z means compress or zip. So when I say compress, I also mean zip. And when you're using the zip option, you're zipping in a gzip format, and the J option, which means you're zipping in the bzip to format. To archive /etc directory, for example, so I'm going to use the command tar and followed by the first thing I want to do. So it's advisable that you use the option of the first thing you want to do, which is create. So I want to create an archive F, which means file, and the name I want to call my archive file. So I can just say technique file, and followed by the name, followed by the directory I want to archive. So which is /etc, and I'm going to press my enter key. So it's processing. So now I can confirm my archived file. So just do this. So you can see the name of my archived file. To verify the type of file it is, you can also use the command file and the name of the file. So you can see that it is a tar archived file. So let's just say that you want to view the content of the file without extracting the file. So you can do that by using the command, the option T to view, then F for file, then the name of the file. This technique file. So you can see the content in the etc directory. So we can actually view the content of the file without extracting the file. So to extract an archived file, we use the command tar -x, or rather x, to extract, then f main file and the name of the file. So we press our enter key. So when we list the content in this root directory, we can see the etc that we archived. So it's been extracted. So from this root directory, I can check the etc directory and you can see all the content in the etc directory. If you decide to extract your archived file to a different location, you can also do that. Oh, sorry. You can also do that. So to extract the technique file to /media, for example, you just use the command that we've used before, and this except use the option -big C. So saying that you want to extract this to the /media location, use your enter key, then you can go to /media, check the content, you can see the etc directory in /media. Like I said in the beginning of this class, that compressing the file is different from archiving a file. So what we've just done is to archive a file and not compress the file. So now we're going to compress the file, that is, reduce the size of the file. So to compress this file that we've archived, so I'm just going to compress this file. Let's confirm the size first. And so we see what we have here. Technique. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, so you can see that you can see the size of the technique file. So we're just going to compress this file now. So we compare their sizes after compression. To compress, you use the command tar z, which means zip or compress. Then you create a file you want to compress. The file name you want to call the compressed file You can say technique comp, then the name of the file you want to compress, which is technique technique file. So now let's see our compressed file. You can verify by using this command to see the kind of file it is. Oh, technique compress. So you can see that it is a gzip compressed data. So let's look at the size. So you can see that it's reduced to 7.5 MB as opposed to the 27 MB we have. Well, not to confuse you much, let's just start with a new file. Let's compress a new file. So say for example, I want to back up the /tmp directory and I also want to compress it as well. So I'm going to use the command tar c, which means create, f a file, z zip the file. I can use v option if I like. If I don't want it, I can remove it. If I use the v option, I just want to see what's happening in the background. So I'm going to call it comp compress. I can give it any name I want, or I can just do this tmp backup. And I want to backup /tmp. I'm going to use my enter key. So I already have it backed up. When I list the files in here, I can see looking for tmp backup. So you can see tmp backup here. You can check the type of file it is, tmp backup. So you can see that it is a gzip compressed data. So I can also confirm the size to see that it's been compressed. Let me use tmp and tmp backup. So you can see that the original /tmp is 12 kilobytes, while the compressed data is 4 kilobytes. To extract the file as usual, use the command tar xf tmp tmp backup. So when I list the files in this root directory, I can see tmp here. So this is tmp. I can also choose to extract it to a different location like we did the other time, where I can use my -c to media, for example. If I go to media, so I can see the tmp directory. I can list the content and see everything I have in my tmp directory. So this is how you archive and compress a file using the tar utility in Linux operating system. You can also use the option J to compress a file in a bzip2 format. So where we have the zip option, if you use the option J here, it's going to compress the file in bzip2 format. So you can also check the website technique.com. I'm going to be posting the link to the website in the description section below. You can just read through and see how you can compress and extract in the bzip2 format. So thank you for watching and please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor And today, we're going to continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series. We're going to be looking at archiving and compressing files and directories in Linux. In our previous class, we looked at how to archive and compress files with the Io Utility. And in today's class, we're going to look at how to archive and compress file with the gzip utility in Linux operating system. In the previous class, I mentioned that you can compress a file in the gzip format or in the bzip2 format. So I want to tell you that even the gzip itself is a utility that you can use to compress a file. For the purpose of this class, let's create a new file. Let me create a file. Um, see technique.file. Let me just put some things in the file. Let me say this is coming soon. Here. Okay. Okay, so uh, all right, so I have created the technique.file. Yeah, I can view what I have here. So now let's compress this file with the gzip utility. To compress this file with gzip, we just use the gzip command and we enter the name of the file. So you can see that when you use the gzip utility to compress a file, it automatically add .gzip extension to the file. To verify the kind of file it is, as usual, we do this. But you don't even need to do this here, because when you see this extension, you know that it is a gzip file. But anyways, there are some files that might have a .gz extension and they're not necessarily a zipped file. So sometimes you might just want to confirm. So you can see that it is a gzip compressed data. To view the content without unzipping, you can use the command gunzip -c and the name of the file. So we can see the content without unzipping the file. You can also use the command zcat to view the content of the file. So to extract a file that is zipped with the gzip utility, you just use the command gunzip. You can use either this command gunzip the name of the file. So you can unzip the command, the file this way, or you use the command gzip -d, that's the compress, in the name of the file. So when you list the content, you can see that the file is being extracted, technique file. So you can just view the content of the file again. So to know more about the gzip utility, you can just check the manual page for gzip. You can know more about the gzip utility, or you can also do gzip-help, which will tell you more about the gzip utility. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I'm one of the authors of Technique.com. We will continue our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and today we'll be talking about archiving and compressing files and directories in Linux using the bzip2 utility. In our previous classes, we've talked about how to do that using the tar and the gzip utility. But in this class, we're going to be talking about doing this, that is compressing a file using the bzip2 utility. To compress the technique.file, this file, with bzip2, we use the command bzip2 followed by the name of the file, technique file. So automatically by default, the file you compress with bzip2 would add the bzip2 extension. You can verify the type of file by using this command as usual. So you can see that it is a bzip2 compressed data. To verify the content of the file without unzipping, you can use the command bzcat, then the name of the file, the zipped file. So you can see the content of the file without unzipping. So to extract the file or unzip the file, you use the command bzip2, then -d, which means decompress. Okay, dot bzip2. So you can see that the file has been decompressed. We can view the content of the file. Okay, so this is how you're going to zip and unzip a file with the bzip2 utility. To know more about bzip2, you can check the manual page, or you can do bzip2 -help. Okay, so thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I'm one of the authors of Technique.com. We will continue our Learn Linux from Scratch series. Today, I'll be talking about archiving and compressing files and directories in Linux. We've talked about how to compress files with the tar utility, with the gzip utility, and with the bzip2 utility. So this is the last episode of archiving and compressing files and directories in Linux. So we're going to be talking about how to do this using the zip utility. So to compress the technique.file with the zip utility, we're just going to use the command zip followed by the name we want to call the compressed file. So I can just give it any name. I can say tech comp and followed by the name of the file we want to compress. I can just say technique.file. So if you do ls, you would see the file that has been zipped with the zip utility, and it has an extension of .zip. To, as usual, to know the type of file it is, you can use the command. You can use this command, and you can see that it is a zip archive file. To unzip, just use the command unzip and followed by the name of the file, which is tech.com.zip. So it's saying, do we want to replace the technique.file? That's this file that we once compressed. So we can say yes, no, or we can rename the file. So I'm just going to use the R option. So I'm going to give it a new name. Say new file. So I have my file. Okay, so I have my file, my new file. Okay, new file. So I can just view the contents of this file. So you can see that the compressed file has been decompressed. To know more about the zip utility, you can use the manual page and zip, or you do zip double hyphen help. You can also, to know more about the unzip utility, you can do man unzip, or you do unzip hyphen help. So this is how you use the zip utility to zip a file and unzip a file. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today we'll continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and I'll be talking about add links and soft links in Linux. I'll be breaking this tutorial into sections so that we can fully understand what it is. Before we get started, I'd like you to put some information on your right palm. And they are: one, every file in Linux has an inode number, so which means that every file is linked to an inode number. Two, talking about links in Linux, links to a file can either be a hard link or a soft link. Put that on the second finger of your right palm. Three, to verify the inode number of a file, use the command ls space -i. So to verify the inode number of say /boot, for example, you just use ls space -i /boot. All right, boot is a directory. Let me add d/boot, so you can see the inode number of /boot to be 128. In number 2, I mentioned that links to a file can either be a hard link or a soft link. So what is this hard link? That is what we're going to be looking at in this section. A hard link is an exact copy, including the file attribute, of an existing file it is pointed or linked to. Please put this in the fourth finger of your right palm. So basically, a hard link is a file that is copied from an existing file. To create a hard link in Linux, you use the command learn followed by the source file. So we're going to create a hard link from the etc password file, then followed by the name of the hard link that you want to create. But for the purpose of this course, I will just copy the password file so not to mess up with the file. So I'll just copy it to tmp password. Okay, I already have one over there. So yes. So we're going to be working with TMP password file instead of the etc password file. So now to create a hard link from the TMP password file, you use the command ln to create a link followed by the source file. That is where you're creating the add link from. So we're creating it from TMP password, followed by the name you want to give to the add link. You can give it any name you wish. So I can say password add link. So I have the add link created. In the number one information I asked you to put on your right palm, I said that every file has an inode number. So which basically means the new add link file we've created has an inode number. So to verify the inode number of this file, both the add link file we just created and the file we created it from, that is the source, we can use the command ls-hi slash tmp slash password and then the new file we just created. Okay, let me use -l to make the display sweet. So we can see the inode number of the new file and the file we created it from. What did you notice? You can see that they both have the same inode numbers 175465529. Did you also notice that they also have the same file attributes? That's the same permission. Read, write, read, and read, read, write, read, and read. So add links usually have the same inode numbers and permissions as their source files. Okay, let's do something again. Let's create another add link from the previous add link we've created. So I'm going to use the command ln password add link. I can call it password add link 2. So now let's verify the inode numbers. You can see that they all have the same inode numbers 175465529. Let's verify their content as well. Let's see their content. See, they all have the same content. So looking at the second file, which is this, the same content as well. And the third file, same content as well. Now check the fourth finger of your right thumb. I said before the beginning of this class that a hard link is an exact copy of an existing file, including its file attributes. So we've been able to prove that with these few exercises. We've seen that they have the same permissions and they have the same inode numbers. So that's what hard link is. So in the next class of this section, we'll be looking at the important things you should know about hard link. So thank you for watching and please subscribe to this channel. You can also click the like button. Thank you and bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today we'll continue our Learn Linux from Scratch series and we're going to be looking at understanding hard links and soft links in Linux. In our previous class, we talked about what hard link is and we did some few exercises. So in today's class, we're going to be looking at the few or the important things you should know about a hard link. So number one is if you delete a hard link, the file the hard link was created from, that is the source file, would not be deleted, and vice versa, which means if you also delete the source file, the hard link will not be deleted. Well, I'm going to be dropping the link to this site in the description section. So if you feel you want to also check the site alongside, you can do that as well. So I'll just drop the link in the description section below. All right, now so let's verify that. So I'm just going to create another ad link. So again, the source file. Let me create it from etc password. Okay, so let me copy etc password file first to tmp password. So I'm going to create a link from tmp password now. So I can call it add file. So let's create another add link from add file. Let's say this is add file 2. So we can just do this to verify the inode numbers. Oh, sorry, TMP. Okay, so to ascertain our first important thing, we're going to delete. We created add file 2 from add file, so we're going to delete add file, add file, and see if add file 2 is still in existence. So you can see that the content of add file 2 is still intact. So the same thing if I deleted add file 2, the content of add file will still remain intact. So let me delete the tmp password file. Let's confirm the add file 2. Okay, so that ascertains our first fact. Number two important thing you should know about add link is that add link cannot be created across file systems. It can only be created within the same file system. So on my system, let me verify the file systems I have. So I have okay /boot is a different file system from my root file system. All right, so I'm going to try to create a hard link across file system. Let me use this. All right, so let me call it a name I wish. Hard link file. So you can see that it has failed to create a hard link file. So you cannot create a hard link file across file systems. Number three important thing you should know about hard links is that hard links, when created, will have or inherit the same inode numbers and permissions from their source files. We've already established this. So number four important thing you should know about hard link is that hard link file will change if the permission of the source file is changed and vice versa. So if I change the source file permission, the add link will change. If I also change the add link, the source file permission will change as well. So let's create another add link from the add file to, so let me call it add file 3. Let's verify their permissions. So I'm just going to change the permission for add link file, for add file 2, I mean. Let me do 777. So let's confirm. So you can see that changing the permission of the source file would also change the permission of the add link. If I also change the permission of the add link, it will also reflect in the source file. Let's change this to 555. So you can see that the permission has changed as well. Number 6 important thing you should know about add link is that add link is not allowed for a directory. So if I try to create a add link from a directory, I'm not going to be able to do that. Let me create a add link from /tmp. Let me call it a name I wish. Say add man, and enter. So you can see that add link not allowed for a directory. So it's not possible for you to create a add link on a directory. So now you understand what add link is, and to understand more about add link, to have a clearer picture about add link, it's better you also know what inode is. Briefly, inode is a data structure, that is the way data is stored on a file system, and every inode has attributes like file types, permissions, just like we saw the permissions of a file, you know. So every inode, they all have their own attributes. So add link will always point to the same inode of a source file. So anytime you create a add link, it points to the inode of that source file. And that is why a add link usually have the same inode numbers as their source files, and they usually have the same file attributes as their source files, because underline, they actually point to the inode number of the source files. So that's what add link is, and that's how add link work. So in the next class, we're going to be looking at soft link, and then we're going to be looking at the attributes of soft link as well. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel, and you can click the like button as well. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor, and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. With our Learn Linux from Scratch series, we're going to continue with understanding hard link and soft link in Linux. In our previous classes, we've talked about hard link, and we also talked about the things you should put in your right palm. And in this class, we're going to be talking about what soft link is. So actually, a soft link in Linux is also known as a symbolic link or a symlink, and it is a copy excluding the file attribute of an existing file it is pointed or linked to. When we defined a hard link, we said it is a copy of an existing file, but it includes the file attribute. But for a soft link, it is also a copy of an existing file, but it excludes the file attribute. When we talked about hard link, we also mentioned inode. We said it is the a data structure. So for soft link, yeah, I remember that I also said that a hard link will point to the same inode of the source file. On the contrary, soft links will not point to the same inode of a source file. Instead, it will point to a file name, that is the file name of the source file. And that is why when you create a soft link, you do not see that they have the same inode numbers. And that is why when you delete the source file of a soft link, the soft link also become useless. So we're going to look at little exercises, and we're going to see how soft link works in Linux operating system. So we're going to be creating a soft link, but before I do that, let me copy the etc password file so we don't mess up with it to tmp password. Uh, Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to create a soft link from the tmp password file. To create a soft link, you use the command ln option-s, which means soft link, followed by the source file, which is tmp password file. Then any name you wish to give your soft link. So I can give it soft file. So as opposed to the add link we created, let's verify their inode numbers. So you can see that they have different inode numbers, and also file the file attributes too are different. So this is the way you create a soft link. In the next class, we'll look at the important things you should know about soft links in Linux. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone, my name is Victor, and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today, we're going to continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and we're going to be looking at understanding soft links in Linux. We've talked about hard link and soft links in our previous classes. So today we're going to be looking at the important things you must know about. Oh, sorry. I mean important things you must know about soft links in Linux operating system. So number one is this is number one. Soft links don't usually have the same inode number and permission from the file it was created, that is from the source file. In our previous video, we saw that, so that has been established. When you create a soft link, it doesn't have the same inode number and permission as their source files. From the previous tutorial, we created a soft link using this command, and we were able to check the inodes with this command. We can see that they have different inode numbers, and this symbol also signifies soft link. That is, the soft file is a soft link to the /tmp/password file. The second important thing you should know about soft link is that permissions are not managed on soft links, but from the source files. Never, permissions are not managed on the soft links, but permissions are managed on the source files. As usual, I'll be dropping the link to this site in the description section below. So if you want to use it alongside with the video, it's fine. So you can see that irrespective of the source file permission, which is this is the source file permission. The soft link still has the full permission. So whichever way, the permission is not managed on the soft link. Never. The permission is managed on on this source file. So if, for example, I change the permission of the source file to, let me use 622 TMP password, you can see that the permission has changed on the source file, but the soft link still remains the same. However, that doesn't mean that this is the permission of the soft link. It is taking its permission from the source file, which is the /tmp/password. So if I do say chmod 777 on password, so you can see from here, you can see that the color has changed to green, which means you've made the files executable. So you see that permissions are managed on the source file. If I change the permission from the source link, it will also affect the source file. Source link. So if I change the permission, it will also affect the source file. You can see that it affected it. But what you should just know is that permissions are managed from the source file and not the soft link. So it's advisable that you always change your permission from the source file. The third important thing you should know about soft links is that it can be created across file systems. So /boot is a different file system from my root file system. So let's try to ascertain this fact. Let me create a file in /boot. Let me call this test file. Okay, so let's try and create a soft link across file systems. So this is going to be ln-s /boot/test file in soft link. Sorry. So you can see that a soft link can be created across file systems as opposed to hard link. When we wanted to create it across file systems, we couldn't. The fourth important thing you should know about a soft link is that the content of a soft link will be modified if the content of the source file is modified, and vice versa. So let's ascertain this fact from the soft link we just created. So I'm going to modify the content of the source soft link, and let's check the source file. So for the soft link, I'm going to modify the content. Let me do touch sorry. So I'm going to view the content of this from the source file. So you can see that whatever thing you modify in the source file, it is going to reflect in the soft link. So if I also modify anything in the soft link, it will also reflect in the source file. So let me modify here. I can just write all right. Let's check the source file. So you can see that the content has been modified as well. So that has ascertained our fourth important fact of a soft link. The fifth important thing you should know about a soft link is that it is allowed for a directory. So let me create a directory, or let me just copy the TMP directory or etc directory to TMP. Okay, so we're going to create a soft link on this directory. Soft file link. Just want to be sure that I don't have that name. So you can see that we can create a soft link on a directory as opposed to when we wanted to do it while we were talking about add link. We couldn't do this. So this is one of the differences between a soft link and a hard link. The sixth important thing you should know about a soft link is if you delete a soft link, the source file will not be deleted. But if you delete the source file, the soft link, will be deleted. So you should note that a soft link would always point to the source file and not to the high node. And that is why when you delete a source file, the soft link becomes useless. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now. Hi everyone. My name is Victor, and I am one of the authors of Technique.com. Today, we'll continue with our Learn Linux from Scratch series, and we're going to be looking at how to use man in Linux. Man simply means manual, just as you have your manuals for your vehicles and your gadgets, you also have a manual in Linux. In your vehicle manual, if, for example, you want to change the oil filter, you check your index or table of content in the manual, then you go to the page where you can change or fix your oil filter. In Linux too, if you want to look for the man page or the manual page for cat command, for example, you just check the manual page by using the command man and cat. So you can see the description, how you go about using the cat command in Linux. The same thing is applicable to ls, for example. If you want to check the manual page for ls, you just do man ls, and then you see everything about ls in the manual page. Well, this is good, this is nice. Yeah, but what if you want to perform a specific task and you do not know the command to use? Of course, it is when you know the command, that is when you can open the manual page for that command. But if you do not know the command, how can you open the manual page for the command you do not know? So, for example, say you want to change a user's password, or you want to change your own password. How do you go about it? There are thousands of commands and options in Linux, and it is very possible for one not to know the command to use for a specific task, or even totally forget the command. So if you happen to find yourself in this position, I will show you how to do that. Okay, so the scenario is you want to change your password, and you want to change or you want to change a user's password, and you don't even know how to go about it. So the first thing you must know is that you can use the man command with the keyword. So for example, I want to change my password, or I'm an administrator and I want to change the password of another user. How do I go about it? So I'm going to use the keyword as against the man command. So the keyword is password. Then I'm going to use the command man -k. That means keyword. Then I use password. All right, let me broaden my screen. So you can see that there are a lot of commands here. Or I'd rather just pipe it to more so that I can actually see everything clearly. So you can see that you have chage command, you have chgppasd command, and look at their meanings. The first one says change user password expiry information. When you check all of this, you see that there are a lot. So I need to show you the section of the manual pages. If you run the command man pages, and you tap your spacebar. Let's look for the section of manual pages. I think I've passed that. All right. So look at the sections here, sections of the manual pages. You can see that section 1 talks about the user command. These are the commands that can be executed by a user from within a shell. When you look at all of the sections, section 1, section 2 to section 8, what we need is actually section 1, section 5 that talks about file formats and configuration files, and section 8 that talks about the system management commands which an administrator or a root user can use. So having talked about the sections of the manual pages, if you use the command again, man-k, you can see the different sections we have here. We have section 1, section 8, but from what we've seen previously, we've seen that we are concerned about section 1, section 5, and section 8. So I can, if I have a lot on my screen, for example, and I don't want to get confused, so I can take it one by one and grep for each section. So for example, I can grep for section 1 so that I can see everything that's got to do with 1. Let me clear my screen so you can see that clearly. So I can see everything that's got to do with 1. And when I check, you see that my screen is not cumbersome any longer. So I can easily just check and look for the command I'm looking for. If I cannot find what is related to what I want to do, I can also grep for 5 and grep for 8. But when you look at these, you can see that I actually have a command here, which is lpassword, and the description says change group or a user password. So I think this command is just enough for me. So now I already know the command that I'm going to use. So I need to check the man page for that command. So I cannot do man l password. So I can see the man page for the command. So if you're looking at a man page, you can see the content in the page. It always starts with a name, and the name will just tell you the name of the command and a brief description about the command. Then the synopsis will tell you how you can use the command. The description describes or explains the command. The options tells you the different flags you can use for the command. I think yeah, one of the previous tutorials I've talked about options. I discussed about it explicitly. So now you can see the synopsis. It's saying it's going to be the command, the option, if you like, and the name, which is the username. So I already know how to use this command. So for me to change my password, I'm just going to So I'm just going to use the command l password, just as we saw. Then the name. So I'm a root user. Then I do root. Then I put in my new password. and I confirm my password. So that's how I can change my password. If I also need to change another user password, for example, a user Michael, I'm going to do password, and the username from the synopsis we just saw, that will be Michael. I'm going to change Michael's password. So that's how you use the man command. You look for a keyword with the man command, and after you've seen the actual command you're looking for, you can also check the manual page for that exact command. And also, sometimes when you look at the manual page of a command, it's always cumbersome. Another thing that can help you is to write a command and then you use hyphen help. Oh, okay, so I think I was wrong in the spelling. So if you run this command as well, you will see it will give an information of how to use a command. So this is a usage, which means L password, then the option, and the user, just as we saw when we looked at the man page. And these are all the options that you can use. So this command also too helps when you want to get an information of how to use a particular command in Linux. So no worries, you don't have to worry yourself if you don't know a specific command to use for a specific task, or if you have forgotten the command. Just use the man command and use the keyword, and you'll be able to find the exact command to use. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe to this channel. Bye for now.